Start recording.
All right.
Action!
Come on.
Well, that'd be a first. Right. Shall we just crack on with this, boys? You all ready and
Yes.
prepped and ready?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
prepped?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ready to
Right.
go.
Oh shit! I better record mine, didn't I? Bloody
Yeah, that'd be great, John. Yeah.
yeah. OBS. A load of start recording.
Yeah.
Speak something. Yeah, it's all working.
Technical.
Suki, have you got a New Year's Day jumper just by the side of you if you reach across like that? Is there any kind of New Year's jumper you could wear? Like...
No.
So, yeah, that is an important point. When are we releasing this bad boy?
New Year's
This
Day,
will be
isn't
the New
it?
Year's Day.
New Year's Day, isn't
Right,
it?
okay. I'll cut my intro accordingly. Right, let me do this. Welcome all to 2021. Happy New Year and
Yay.
all that.
Hey.
Hey, Happy
In
New
this-
Year.
In this second festive episode of Take Your Seats, we are reviewing 1966 Doctor Who movie, Dalek's Invasion Earth 2150 AD. It's a snappy title. I am your host, Nick, and co-hosting is my good friend Suki Cat. Hello, Suki. How are you? Ignore these bastards.
I'm fine, thank you. I've just had my tea. I'm feeling relaxed. Christmas has just gone by. I enjoyed it quite well. Loads of presents.
Did you
I'll tell
go?
you all
Did you,
about it as soon as I've
did you
opened
stay
them.
up? Did you stay up last night and get pissed and fireworks?
No, I don't. I went to bed at about 10 o'clock, as I always do.
Wow, unbelievable.
Right. Now to hear the fireworks going on.
Did you do
Yeah,
that?
that is true.
Did you do that trick you did last year? You stuck a firework up your ass.
Yeah, that's one of the other reasons why I went to bed.
Well,
Way to relive the Big Banger.
Yeah.
it seems almost pointless to comment that there are other people on here and we're going to about to introduce them because they've already fucking interjected themselves into this.
We were
straight
getting
away.
bored of waiting, John. God,
Well,
is that-
hey, if you'd shut the fuck up, I'd have got it sorted and done, wouldn't I? Come
Yeah, instead of
on,
jumping
my
in.
friend. Come on.
I only get one little bit with John at the beginning of this podcast without you piping in.
Yeah, but it was too long as far as I was concerned. It was boring.
That's not the first time you've said that to me. And joining
Absolutely.
us for this seasonal review, our old favourites once again, Bob Fleming and Craig Stimson. Welcome, lads.
Hello,
Happy
good
New
to be
Year.
back. Happy New
New
Year.
Year.
God,
Happy New Year.
that's my intro done. Fuck it, I'm not speaking again. That's it, I've had enough. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this film? And I'm not meaning in an existential way. I mean,
Because we
What,
reviewed the last one and we really enjoyed it, and we thought, wouldn't it be good to review the second one? I thought that was the reason, John.
who thought that then? Was that you, Craig? Because I've watched it and I'm not so sure it was a good idea.
I don't know if it was me actually, but I'll take the rap for it because you know.
Actually, John, it was you.
Was it?
Yeah, but also,
Right.
you've now seen both movies, John. So you up in your Doctor Who levels.
Yeah,
but
it's, yeah. Now, Craig,
yes.
what are your thoughts about the Doctor Who movie that we're talking about? Whose title I can't remember.
Well, I think it's Dalek's Invasion of Earth 21,050 AD, something like that. It's very short and snappy,
Right.
like you said before. To be honest, my memories of this is I loved it. It was like I said last time when we did the Daleks one. I remember as a kid, I remember watching it on telly, going around to see at families' houses, going to see it at the cinema, and I was actually really excited about watching this. And then I watched it, and my attention was just all over. Maybe I wasn't in the zone for it. Maybe I'd enjoyed the last one too much, or maybe it was just crap. I can't yet decide which one it was, but I struggled a little bit with this, to be honest. I was I'm waiting for men in leather walking around with whips and things like that, and it just didn't happen.
Were you on the wacky backy again, Craig? Is that what it was?
I probably had a vodka. No, it was mid-afternoon I watched it. I think I had a busy day doing sod all, and that was the highlight of my day, and it went downhill.
Bobster, you've presumably seen it before. Tell me your history of this film.
Very similar to last time we reviewed the first one. It's based on the Dalek Doctor, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the second Dalek story, which I absolutely fucking love. It's one of my favourite Doctor Who stories, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, and this has always let me down. Always let me down.
Really?
Yeah, because you know when you said last time, Craig, about the Daleks being 7 parts, it's too long.
Yeah.
It's quite nice when they condense it. It is quite fun, and I quite enjoyed that. But the pacing in the Dalek Invasion, the Hartnell one, is great. The story's great. The characters are great.
Yeah.
And I think that's my problem with it. Even when I don't look at it with that sort of mindset. I mean, I tried to sort of flip it a little bit with these two films and think, like, obviously it's a chicken and the egg scenario. Is these films would be great, if you never heard Doctor Who. Do you see what I mean? If these were just like two random sort of film franchise coming out, I think they'd be good films in the 60s, like, or whatever. But because you've got that, the story's already in Doctor Who and you've seen them and they're the ones you've seen first for me. Yeah, and I watched it twice. Obviously, Bernard Cribbins, amazing. I fucking love Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a bit of it's the Daleks don't look as good. Like in the last one we watched.
Yes.
The Daleks look proper colourful and massive and awesome. And they'd sort of gone back to the original design. Obviously, they'd a bit more beefed up and different ones than that. But yeah, tepid.
All right, tepid it is. Sucky.
I don't know where these pair are coming from. I mean, I love this movie. Right, I understand that it does meander all over the place, right, compared to the 7-parter. But even the 7-parter had loads of padding in there as well. But I enjoyed Peter Cushing's portrayal. Bernard Cribbins, as Bob says, is wonderful in this. Yeah. And his comic bits that he had in this was a lot better than Roy Castle had in his first.
Yeah, it was less slapstick. Yeah.
Yeah. The Barbara replacement, Louise, she had hardly anything to do in the movie, which is a shame. And Susan, again, she had a little bit to do. She had a lot more in the first film, and in this film, she was just like a little girl following Wyatt around, Wyler around, and you just so the main cast was sort of not very well utilised. I think it also might have been down to the fact that Peter Cushing was also ill during this production, so a lot of his scenes were cut or moved to other people.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a lot better than the first film. I think it's a lot better than the first film, and it's a lot more colourful. The budget seems to have increased because they've got outside location work. It's just, I think it's a better film than the first one. What do you think, John? Go on.
I'd agree with you. I think it is a better film than the first one. I didn't immediately like it because of some of the odd choices right at the very start, but. And I know what you mean, Bob, when you say if you come at it without knowing the Doctor Who stuff, it would have been quite a good sci-fi film. And I've never seen whatever Hartnell story you're on about.
Yeah.
So for me, it was fine. I didn't have anything to contrast it with. I thought it was a bit obvious that Peter Cushing had nothing to do, or was kind of marginalised in the whole plot. He was pretty useless until the last third of the film, which is something that's same as last time, actually. And I like Cribbins. He seemed to be the buffoon of the film. So he's a definite upgrade on Roy Castle, and I'm not dissing Roy Castle because I know Craig Francis' ass. So, and I think the whole premise and the way they did the invasion part, and it was all the feeling of an oppressed peoples and all that was very well done, and the idea of everybody being slaves and stuff and having to move through the countryside on that basis was quite interesting. I thought it was pretty decent. Yeah, so should we give it lights out of 5 and fuck off, shall we?
Just a sweet New Year's episode.
My first point straight away is that Barbara didn't do a shit in her hands and then put it on Dalek's eye to blind the Dalek again. But then I thought, well, it's different action, it's more classy. She's not into scatting. So, but yeah, I was a bit disappointed that there was no poo on her Dalek's eyeball. Well, they call it scatty when you chuck shit around.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah.
They do call it scatty, don't you? Throw poo around.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Like, if you're into it.
I thought you knew great scat man. Boo, boo, boo. What the hell?
Yeah, it is called that.
So yeah, but it wasn't Barbara, like, was it? It was Louise, you said. I didn't even know it was Louise.
I didn't even notice that, actually. I had to make a special note of Tom's name because I couldn't remember what it was. But yeah,
I was kind of really hoping it'd be Wilf. Wilf from, and it came full circle back into when he was in Doctor Who later. Because I love Wilf. I just love Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah.
They'd have been
I
like
haven't
Tom
fucking-
Wilfred
I haven't a
Campbell.
fucking clue who you lot are talking about, to be honest. But hey, I know. You carry on, lads.
Well, you
Yeah.
know Wilf, don't you, from Doctor Who later on?
Donna Noble's
Oh
granddad.
yeah, that's Bernie Cribbins, isn't it? Yeah.
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 Oh, he's
He's
not
awesome.
the character.
No, he's
Age.
different.
Causes the 10th Doctor to regenerate in many ways, doesn't he? Kind of like
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does. Well, that's my first note.
Well,
Yeah.
this film then, right? When I was watching it this time, I think my memory was I preferred this film to the first one, but I really enjoyed watching the first one again. I find this one scarier. As a kid, I did, and even when I was watching it, there was more tense moments, and there was things that, as a kid, really did terrify me. When I was watching them again this time, it's like when the Daleks, when they escape from the Daleks, and it's like down by the garages and it's outside, and the Daleks come round the corner and they go down. As a kid, that scared me to death. And I always remember the scene as well when they're kind of with the women in the cottage out in the countryside and the Daleks waiting outside because she's informed on them. I just love that. And all the way through, I was thinking, he didn't get me this time. Maybe my head wasn't in the right zone or whatever, I don't know. But I recognised everything from when I was a kid that scared me. And I thought it was brilliant for that. It was a much more tense film.
Tell you what, size of them carrots, the win, you know. Fucking massive.
You could use one of them. You could have used one of those last night, Sucky, instead of that firework.
Well, that was
But yeah,
last year when the firework was around. Last night, that's why I went to bed early this year. Great.
You've got to love a good rectal insertion joke, haven't you, lads? Right. So we get to see some new we get to see some new characters. We get to see
Is that new
Ironside.
characters?
Hindsight. Yes.
Craig, go to the naughty corner with that line. That's terrible.
Come on,
Yeah, you got Ironside. You've got like some of the other characters are nice. I think the Daleks were a bit crap again. Like for some reason, you could chuck them down a ramp and they'd blow up. The next minute, you could fire, you could chuck bombs at them and they would be invincible. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But I think it felt a little bit rushed as well at times. I think they were trying to stick to that 1.5 hour thing, and the end sort of concluded rather fast. I think Susan's little voyage through the countryside with that guy, Weil or whatever, that was nice. That was a good little character moment for both of them, and they're meeting up at the that little cottage that they find, where they get So yeah, I do like. There's lots of nice bits in it, and it wasn't one of those films that I was watching and kind of zoned out. I watched it all, and the fact that I can't remember it now is nothing. I've wrote notes.
My favourite scene.
Yes.
My favourite comedy scene was when Ironside takes on the Daleks, because it's like a fucking mobility scooter off, isn't it? You know what I mean?
The weird thing about that is that he went down and then he spun his wheel just so he could have that spinning wheel thing going on.
I thought that was
Why
lovely.
did he do that?
It's great, but it's just so funny.
Doing his best.
Gordon Fleming again, with a Y. But it was just so funny that he was just chucking bombs at the Daleks. I just envisaged that, because they're obviously in kind of some form of wheelchair or whatever inside. It was just fucking mobility scooter off kind of thing with bombs. And that made me laugh.
I can understand what he did now, that Dortmund character, because he's just come. They've all come back from this raid on the spaceship, and they said, "Your bombs don't work. Your bombs don't. They're rubbish." Or of course, when he sees the Daleks, he's got to make sure they've got to have a diversion to get away, and he decides, "I'm going to show them. I'm going to show them my bombs do work." Of course, he goes after them. It's only when he realises that they ain't actually working, he decides to bring the building down. So you can understand his motivations for thinking, "I'll make sure these bombs work."
Have you ever seen the film Red Dragon? Part of the Hannibal Lecter series. There's that scene when the journalist gets strapped down to the wheelchair and he gets tortured and set on fire and put down a street. Every time I see that scene, I think about this. Oh my God.
Yeah, me too.
I just thought I'd share that with you, but my mind's been distracted because Bob's just changed his background and it's just kind of caught my attention.
That's for YouTubers like Sucky's penis. What were you saying? What were you saying?
Well, it just reminded me of that scene, but let's move on from that conversation now. Have you ever seen that film, Flesh Garden, Bob?
Yeah, of course I have. I've seen the other one as well. We reviewed last at Christmas time. That Dalek porn that Sucky had.
Did he send it to you through the post?
You know what? Before all this started, before all this started, I said to myself, now don't take any fucking shit from Bob and Craig with their little double act
Scat,
going
you
on
mean?
to try and disrupt. Don't take any shit or scat from either of these two twats. So this is me.
You passed the
sorry,
stamp of
Suki.
wine then.
Sorry, Suki. 1 second, Suki. You two, if you speak again out of 10, I'm going to mute you fuckers.
Oh,
Let's see how you deal with it then.
This will be funny.
Oh, flipping
Well,
next to presidential election all over again.
Yeah, we know who's who, don't we?
yeah, we better not say who's won though, because it's
The whole right. Let's back to the movie. The whole premise of the Daleks. Now you'll have to explain to me what the heck's going on, because the Daleks are drilling down through the crust in order to blow up or extract the magnetism of something.
Yeah, it's down in the Earth's core, isn't it? They want to move the planet around, so
Like
they have to drill down to the core, and they're going to put the bomb in there to blow it up, and then I assume it is that right, Suki?
What they're going to try, there's a magnetic core right at the center of the Earth, and what they're doing is they're sending the bomb down there, and it's going to somehow there's going to be an explosion down there, which will propel the magnetic core out of the planet, and then they will then harvest the middle of the planet to make it into a spaceship. So they can.
That is literally the worst premise ever.
I think that's genius.
It makes no fucking sense.
It's also
who cares if it makes sense?
It's also a massive fuck on.
What about having the fact that right in their control center is the bomb itself, and the shaft goes straight down from their control? I mean, that is brilliant organization about where to put the bomb, right where they're all doing it. None of it makes any sense. So, I think it's great. The mine shaft comes right up. Someone's actually dug all the way into that space, into that control room, so that Tom can climb up it.
It's just, it feels like it's a gimmicky thing just to get the plot from A to B. But they could have at least made it at least semi-coherent. It would have made a lot better if they had an idea of just blowing the planet up or something. I don't know. But yeah, it just made no sense, and it kind of like, oh my god, why didn't you even try? Science in the 60s wasn't that bad that people would have worked out that was the worst thing ever.
Well, let me explain to you again, John Marie, in layman's terms.
Here we go. There's going to be a shaft gag here, isn't there?
Not fun about that.
We wait with bated breath.
Richard Round.
So what they've done is, John, they've dug into the centre of Earth. Right? They're going to put a bomb in it to make it a bit more hollow, and then they're going to go down into there when the magnetism of north and south has gone. That obviously pulls them in like fucking rockets at the end, and then they're going to fly around the Earth, fly around like a spaceship.
Oh no, I'm aware that that's what they were going to do. It's just how fucking stupid that was. It's just
they've got a whole planet they can move around. The Daleks try and do that time and time again, don't they? They're always trying to move planets around.
Why?
Because that's what Daleks do. They're a bit dim despite the bit. Yeah,
Cybermen like to fucking just strangle people. Daleks like to
move planets.
Move planets with like spaceships and that.
It's like when Davros comes back into it, he's got his little time thing, hasn't he, with David Tennant in his Journey's End, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Stolen Earth, isn't it? And he's there moving planets around again. They love it. It's what they do. They meddle about. God, John, don't you know anything?
There were fucking naughty corner again, Craig. Naughty corner. Right.
Spend all his recording on the naughty corner.
I like being naughty.
There was there are some camera work things going on, because they spend a lot of time building ramp sets for the Daleks inside their facility, and there's a Steadicam shot that follows them all the way around. That is the worst Steadicam. It's an unsteady cam shot, just jiggling about all over the fucking place.
Oh, but I love that.
But I do like the fact that they tried to do that, and they had a long shot that followed the robots. The Daleks about and what they were doing. So they had to interact as Daleks rather than just being there for a cut shot and then moved about a bit and done another. So I like that they tried to do that. And the facility was pretty cool, I think. I think it looked pretty
the
good.
Dalek spaceship looked really, really.
Yeah.
The facility, not the Dalek spaceship. The
It
facility.
reminded me a bit of a Bond.
The bomb looked a bit.
A Bond, James Bond sort of, set the when they get to the countryside, that sort of set what they had there with the mine. It reminded me of it like a Bond villain sort of layer at the end. But yeah, it looked cool.
Right.
Lair. Is it lair? Lair. There you go.
Yeah, it is. You know the 4-letter word. You can do it. Right. The bomb was a bit shit though. I will go there with that.
A big, massive red bomb
with
just
air
hanging.
vents on it. There were air vents on it. Why were there
what
air
actually
vents
was
on
it?
the bomb?
Was it just?
Well, if you're going to blow up the middle of a planet, you're going to explode the fucking planet. It's a stupid plan. It doesn't just. It's like
they've worked it out. I'm just defending the Daleks.
They've broken through the crust and somehow managed to travel thousands of miles through lava and all sorts of stuff in order to get the bomb to the middle.
And there's no sign of any of that rubble on the top, was there? So where'd all the stuff that they'd mined gone to? Because it wasn't kind of just normal to the side. There was no scrap heaps or whatever they call them. Just on the side, there's no lava. Slag heaps. That's the word.
Slag heap.
Being such a pure boy.
What I'm thinking.
My colleague's nickname.
Yeah, I'm thinking with this movie, there's two shafts. One shaft has gone in for Craig, Bob.
Craig,
Tom's riding this shaft. He loves climbing up it.
One shaft has gone in for the opposite side of Bedfordshire. And once they explode that bomb, it's going to shoot the magnetic cord out the other end.
It's stupid.
Hang on, I've never thought about that. Are you saying that there's two ends to this mine?
Yes.
Well, is that actually referred to in the film, Sucker? I missed that.
This is my little theory.
Right.
That's the only way they're going to get a full magnetic core out of a. What the hell, Craig?
What?
This is an audio podcast. Don't fucking worry about it, Sucky.
I can't see it straight off my screen.
Putting up porn on his back thing. Like, Jesus Christ. Right. Sucky, give us some fucking numbers.
The numbers on this is like the film was budgeted for 268,000, which is 6 times as much as the original film. There's more location work done on it. There's more cast in it. There was more Daleks in it. There's more stunts in it. So all this sort of elevated the budget. They were given a certain amount of time to get it done, but they went over by 11 days as well. So that day helped. There was also so many injuries during this as well, production. Well, Andrew Keir, that plays Wyler, when he punched the window of the van that he was in, he hurt his wrist. Right, so there was delay there. Peter Cushing was ill, right, so during the outside location scenes. So a lot of his scenes were rewritten, or so they couldn't use a lot of his stuff. And therefore, some of the indoor scenes they were also having to be changed to accommodate the fact Peter Cushing was not available for some of the shooting. Eddie Powell, that played Thompson, you got these two characters that were captured at the spaceship, and they were just walking by, and Thompson and the other character says, "I'm going to make a break for it," so he runs off, goes up this derelict building.
Oh, that stunt was awesome! Yeah,
and then he gets shot down. Right, he falls, breaks his ankle, carries on acting, right, to get the death scene when he's shot down by the Daleks, because that's all one take, and then had to come back and shoot from the waist up, right, for his death when he's lying on the floor dead, because they couldn't show the cast on his foot because he's broken his ankle.
I tell you what, though, that was a fucking class scene. I think it's the same one we're talking about, where them two rubber men kick up, bang, on the floor, bang, fucking class that.
Which scene's that?
So the bit where they're running in the woods, I don't know if it's the same.
We did. No, it's a different scene.
Two robo men, and he just he turns around, bang, and then just fall like on floor, bang. It's just cool, pops them both off. It's a cool scene.
I love the scene as well,
but it looks silly as well. It's got to be some sort of expert shot to be able to shoot like that.
It's cool. It's cool as fuck. It's like Bond, isn't it?
Roundhouse flipping shot of somebody shooting to
yeah.
a problem.
I've done it before with pigeons. So
have you actually got them?
Yeah. But
Really?
real
Were there
pigeons,
just
bird
one in a
pigeons.
flock of pigeons?
no, like one, well, like two coming towards me, and I fucking left
Flock
and
of
righted
pigeons,
it.
is that like a shit flock of seagulls
I
band,
don't know
cover
what
band?
I don't know what the word is for the louder flipping pigeon.
Gaggle,
Is that what?
gaggle.
That's a gaggle of
It's
geese.
not. It's a gaggle of geese, mate. Come on, basic
Yeah, it's
stuff.
a pack of pigeons is what it is.
One scene I want to talk about is the very start where we've got Toccata and Fugue being played quite weirdly on piano that turns into a jazz piece, as Bernard Cribbins is like going about his business as a police officer, and there is a moment where he runs into the TARDIS and all that happens, and you see a couple of minutes later there's a guy leaning on the TARDIS when it disappears, and he falls over. And then he looks straight at the camera in a sort of wah wah kind of way.
Oh, at the beginning,
Which
yeah,
really
yeah.
annoyed me. I thought, why are you doing that so early in the film and you don't do it again? Pointless.
Yeah.
But I mean, aside from that, I think Bernard Cribbins was great in this. He did. I like the idea of somebody walking into the TARDIS and like trying to work out what's going on, and he was like discombobulated. And he got carried away, and he was definitely, he'd bought into helping these people out in 2150. So yeah, I think I liked what he did. I think he would have been a quality companion back in the day.
He'd have been a quality doctor.
Well, he was saving it.
He was a good. Well, yeah.
Probably a good doctor, yeah. I've met
He was up for the fourth Doctor's position, from what I've been told. Third or fourth Doctor's, one of them. Well, I say he could have been one of the. He could have been a doctor back in the 70s.
He'd have been cool. Did you say you met him, Craig?
Yeah, met him a couple of years ago. Went down. He was filming at Robin Hood's Bay. Sorry, not Robin Hood's Bay. Stayed.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, for that kid show.
That's right. Yeah, no wait. I just got wind of it. One of my friends texted me and said, "Robin, he's down here," and I literally just grabbed a Doctor Who t-shirt, got a book for him to sign, and went down and got a picture taken with him. It was lovely, guy. Really nice. I was so excited. It was so. I chatted with him for a couple of minutes, and yeah, it was lovely. It was awesome to meet him.
Yeah.
I love that scene as well. Like you were saying, there's some brilliant scenes actually setting the atmosphere. When they first arrive and they're kind of like looking through the warehouse and the robo men are there and this and the other. That scene as a kid, again, always terrified me. When Bernard Cribbins opens the door and nearly falls out because there's nothing on the other side. I mean, I know we've seen it kind of a lot now, but at the time, as a young kid, I loved that. It was terrifying. It always sticks in my head.
That warehouse scene sticks in my head for a different reason, because it was the most badly dubbed piece I've ever witnessed. There was like the footsteps have been all the Foley work, the footstep sounds have all been added later and added badly. There are times when they're saying things that don't happen, and when they do say things, it's not synced. And it's obviously you can't record their actual speech and stuff while they're wandering around, and you've got a long shot of the warehouse. But it was pretty ropey.
Yeah, I don't notice it in that scene, but there's scenes with Louise. I don't know if she was overdubbed by somebody else or they had to bring it in to do her dubbing again, right? But there was loads of scenes where Louise didn't seem to match up with the dialogue she was saying. Yeah. Right, so I don't know what was going on. But that scene Craig's going on about with the door, the bit that did scare me, or I did wonder about, was the fact when Tom managed to get back in, right, the door still falls off. I was thinking, there was a good stunt for whoever that the guy was that actually did the stunt work there, because that door could have come off any time.
There was some good stunt work. I tell you which bit I loved. One of the things that impressed me with this one was the speed of the Dalek came out of the water, because on the original one it was a bit of a fuck up and it was quite slow and a bit weird. That fucking Dalek was like shit off a stick. It was like woof.
I thought it was too fast. It was over it. I thought it lost its tension because of that. That was my. I put down. I think it should have been a slow reveal.
No, I liked it. It was a bit more, like
rushed.
Yeah, that should have been a close-up reveal, not a slow reveal. A close-up should have been. The camera should have been right close up on it.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any recollection of that scene whatsoever, so I reckon I was making a cup of tea at that point. Maybe. I don't know. What a pro I am! Yeah.
I love that when they're kind of coming down to the river and we all know what's going to happen, and you've got the Robomen come on top of the kind of the warehouse or whatever it is, and they're there shooting and they run down to the water and the Dalek comes on. I think it's great. I think there's so many great moments, and it's much better than the first one for its moments and its storyline and plot.
I liked just to go back to Bernard Cribbins and his comedy, which it wasn't as daft, obviously slapstick as Roy Castle's was. No thing on Roy Castle because, like I said last time at Christmas, he's a great actor. Just his slapstick was probably good at the time. But the funny bit when Bernard Cribbins is a Robo Man and he's sort of just going round, sitting up, standing up. I quite like that scene, and I also like the fact they eat space sweets. That's their meal.
Yeah, off party plates. As kids, you used to have them.
Yeah, exactly. A plate of sweets.
And it reminded me of what it would have been like as a birthday kids party to get and the way that mini dolly mixtures, which I adore to this day.
Yeah,
and they're all there. No, I found that a bit tiresome actually. That scene. It reminded me. I thought you were going to say it. What did you like about that scene then? That when we watched the Daleks with Roy Castle running back to her from the door, you didn't like that. I found them very similar.
I like the choreography of it. Like it was well choreographed, but because they were all doing the same thing, the Robo Men.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to interfere with it. Or whatever. I just quite liked it. It was quite a nice little scene.
See, I'm just going back to the first film. Roy Castle, his comedic bits were right at the beginning of the film and really right at the end. The rest of the time, he was quite serious all the way through.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Right, so that was great. This one, Bernard Cribbins, is comedic virtually all the way through the film, right? Because there's a lot of scenes where he is playing some comedy element to it. Yeah. But that scene with the Robo Men, I didn't mind that scene, but I had to rewind it slightly because they had 5 people sitting on that front bench, and then when he came back after, they had 4, and I was thinking, has somebody just gone missing? And I then realised there was 3 people on the back seat. That's why I went 4 full.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, my recording failed at 20 minutes in.
Oh.
So we're going to get a Skype-only recording, hopefully, so just be aware.
It sounds absolutely fine, John. It's great.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So don't lose that recording. I'll need it.
Oh, shit. Let's start again.
No, never.
What do you think about the Robo Men? Because I love the idea of the Robo Men, but I think they've never been very well realised. I think the outfits look terrible for a start, but they're just really lame. I think they could be so great, controls humans, but
it's weird that like they capture the Doctor and the Doctor works out a way to escape from the cell, and the Dalek says, "You've passed the test. You are going to become Robo Men."
Yes.
Yeah, but yet Robo Men are numb and thick and don't do anything intelligent at all. So what was the fucking point of that? You might as well just have picked the biggest people.
Exactly, because how thick you must be to work down the mine then, if that's the case. It's like, because I'd never passed that test. I wouldn't have had a comb for a start.
But it might be like that thing back in the olden days. If your friend, because I'm not very tall, but if your friend was tall, like your nan would always go, "Oh, he should be a policeman. He's tall." You remember that? They always used to say that, like, "Oh, he should be a policeman."
Real logic in there.
So Robo Men maybe the same. "Oh, he should be a road man. He's tall."
I want to know how those chickens survived.
Yes.
When that fucking truck goes into the farmyard and all the chickens are like literally get caught under it and everything, but they all like make it out. Some cruel work there.
That was animal welfare now, could you? And rightly not, unlike shooting pigeons, Bob.
Right, I remember
fucking vermin, rats with wings.
I remember recording this off the telly, and that scene is one of the scenes where I've rewound it a couple of times to see if there was a dead chicken under them.
I didn't see one. It was a bit bloody cavalier of the driver and the whole thing, but
Cavalier.
The music in this.
Yeah.
It was a weird choice, but whenever there was any action going on, it turned into there was a weird sort of 60s jazzy thing going on, and what they were doing, they weren't managing the music well. They were cutting as soon as that went, and they cut something else, chop, no matter where it was in the music, so it didn't make any sense.
I mean, the music was very prominent though. Like very 60s, full on.
Yeah, it was a bit much. But maybe that's what they think a film that's a movie is supposed to do, but I don't know.
Sucky shaking his beard.
Yeah, it's for the YouTubers, the background.
Just move to the side, Bob. I can't see his groin.
No, he's getting repaired for YouTubers.
Right.
He's getting repaired.
We're not reviewing this film, Bob.
By
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
You two keep. I can only see Suki most of the time. For some reason, Bob and John coming off my screen. You are there most of the time, but then you disappear. So I've got a full-on Suki now. It's very handsome, Suki.
No, he's being nursed back to health.
That,
It's like fucking cut. So I'll edit this. I have to edit that shite out, won't I?
where have the two of you gone? Do you do anything, or is it just my computer that's making you come and go?
Oh, I don't. I'm not fucking.
It's just
doing
a background that Craig is just.
I'm not
interfering
doing
with.
a Skype
no, we don't need that.
discussion mid.
Oh, we're back
fucking
again now.
podcast.
Oh, are we recording still? Sorry, I thought you pressed
Jesus
pause.
fucking
I'm so sorry.
Christ.
Only reason I said it. I took the opportunity to ask you. I wouldn't have asked otherwise.
How many naughty corners have you been in already today, Craig? Do you want to do it again?
I need to go inside the naughty corner.
Oh, fucking hell.
There was a nice touch to go back all round to the very start at the end.
I love that.
When you go there and he breaches that fella's human rights by arresting him before he's done anything.
Why in the
That's a
60s
nice bit of
they
work.
weren't whacked? They did it in the last one, and they do it now, don't they? Get in the car, and I'm going to whack you, just like they would do. It's like real good policing, isn't it? Why kind of do that? Why not just let them in the car, lock the doors, or why not arrest them as they come out, or why not get a call for backup?
Well, they haven't done anything wrong, have they yet? Unless it's conspiracy.
Well, why not go back before it and get other police officers in the nearby vicinity? Why go and whack them?
Whacking's ace. You not like a good
thing-
whack, Craig.
Why are you whacking
then you're
yourself?
not whacking.
It's different to that.
Yeah,
Forget
the
whack.
As soon as the word whack was mentioned, I knew where Bob was fucking going to go with that.
I'm already down there. With
Forget the police brutality. Right?
I know.
Yeah, just because. Why wasn't there a Tom still walking in the background before he gets taken by the TARDIS?
He's whacked, wasn't he? He whacked himself off. I don't know what that means.
That's a good point, that Suki.
Yeah,
On a different note, I do actually really like the fact that it does, like John said, it does the beginning and it comes back to it and it wraps it up. So this guy that we never know of again, Tom, comes up with a happy ending almost, doesn't it? Because obviously he's been whacking himself off, so he's happy. But
There it is. There it is.
It's just
No,
You know what?
time pass.
I'm gonna have to get an octagonal
What's
room
trying
so it
to
can stick
stop
you in
it?
another fucking corner.
I'm still on track here,
Bob's
John.
feeling bad as me. Why has he not gone in the corner yet?
Ooh, Sucky. I know he's been
You
right
can't-
bad lad.
You can't put Bob in a corner.
You can't put baby. You can't put
Dirty
baby in a
dancing
corner.
reference.
He'll start dancing.
Yeah.
I join in. He's too hungover from last night.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Right, has anybody got anything interesting or relevant and non-fucking pervy to say about this film? Anybody?
Yes.
Right.
Bob,
let's
I'll
talk
come to
about-
you first for any notes.
Go on. Oh, God.
I've done my notes. Basically, it was just about Barbara shitting her hand and scatting a Dalek and blinding it, and that was it. That was my only note.
Scatting is not what you're thinking it is.
Shitting.
It's like you shit on someone.
Like an ape in a cage.
Yeah,
Shit people.
that's called throwing shit. It's not called scatting. Scatting's the
It's
singing
called-
thing you do.
No, isn't it, Craig? In porn, it's called scatting, isn't it?
It's when you
No,
shit.
it's scat is
Shit on
is
someone.
poo stuff, all right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
But scatting as a verb.
Has anybody
as
got
a-
any
is-
notes on
oh.
this movie, please? Yes. No.
Breaking, just breaking. He can't
No,
even-
I broke a while
He's on
ago.
track, man.
There is, what do you call it when you're experts of animals poop? Because you call that something. Is that scat?
Get back in that corner.
It's a real
He gets
in
scatted.
America, and it says whose is that scat or whatever it was, but it meant what animals does shit belong to, and it was like a nature trail guide to shit spotting.
Right.
Sucky, have you got your notes? Sucky.
Stucky, move forward so you're speaking into the microphone
Pardon?
and tell us your notes. Go on, Stucky, tell us your
Mumble in
notes.
the background. Right. I like the fact that Susan has a little nod to the old TV show in that she injures her ankle, twists her ankle, and poor lass, because of the Susan in the TV show is always seems to be injuring her ankle. There's the Sugar Puff promotion.
I got that.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's in the TV one, isn't it? The Sugar Puffs.
No, Craig, they're doing a gay thing. Bob's doing a gay thing right now with the
It's your
word
new
puff.
boy band, isn't it? Sugar Puffs.
I resent that word. I feel violated.
Yeah,
Yes.
I feel violated. I feel violated for Craig.
Oh, you little sugar puff, I love it. You cheeky sugar puff.
Sweet and milk.
Okay. So this serial, right,
Yeah.
promotes it, yeah, when it did product placement through the whole of the film, which helped towards the cost of the budget.
I've muted Bob. I'm going to mute. Hold on, I'm going to mute Craig as well. Fuck him. Yeah, go for it, Suki.
Have you managed to do that? Well done.
I could do it. It's my call.
I can see him nodding, looking up better.
They're very
Right,
upset, aren't
I like the design of the Dalek spaceship.
Fucking unmute it, you dickhead. Can you unmute it?
The Dalek spaceship, just a nice, simple little design.
Fucking on again.
Please let me finish. Please.
Keeps muting me. Go on then. Craig doesn't know what to do.
they?
Better unmute him.
All right, come on, Craig. Unmute yourself, mate. It's fine.
What's he saying?
What's he for?
He doesn't know how to do it. Do I know what he's doing?
Am I on? Am I on?
No,
You're back on. You're back on.
I regret doing that for the fucking shenanigans that ensued.
yeah.
Well, go for it, Suki. Carry on, mate.
Yeah, the Dalek spaceship. I love the design of the Dalek spaceship. It's a space saucer like design.
Oh, yeah, that's
Right.
cool.
Hovering above the ground.
Yeah.
It just looked really good, and I love that.
It didn't. Its flight as well was not like, because you see some models that like their flight is unsteady.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool. It looked like it was flying. It was good.
Yeah,
Good
the
model.
only time it looked a bit crap was at the end when the mine's destroyed. Right,
Yeah,
and
too big, isn't
I
it?
know that was all that was it was a model, but it seemed like a very basic model, and it just didn't seem to be quite gel with the look of the movie. And then when the spaceship came down and got destroyed, then you had them flames on there. Oh, that was just terrible as well.
Yeah.
Right, but it was,
When it comes down to shoot that car and fires its laser beams, that's quite good as well, isn't it? I quite like that scene. Those two
Yeah,
bombs.
that was decent.
Try to be sensible now, John, if you've noticed.
Yeah, so am I, Craig.
Shut up, Bob, you led me astray.
I like the sets on this movie, especially where you got the London sets with all the destroyed buildings all over the place, and then some of the mats.
What's okay? What are you laughing at?
Look,
Right.
look, because it is an audio podcast and Craig is imitating, he's pretending to do a blowjob on his finger for the YouTubes, and it's broken, Suki. But hey, we're just gonna power on past everybody. And I can only, I'll tell you what, this is the first podcast I've done where I'm gonna have to issue a fucking apology in it.
Don't apologise because you can't talk while I'm blowing my own finger off.
When was the last one, John? Last Christmas. At Christmas.
The fact that the Doberman insist, well, not Doberman, Doberman insist on all the rebels using these bombs when they attack the spaceship to rescue the Doctor and whoever with Tom in there, right? And then when they come back, you realise every single one of them rebels has been killed, apart from David Weiler, and that's it. The TARDIS crew. Everybody else was been killed off, which is one of these little tragic little things that in this movie.
I did like that little setup they had, the rebels, and it was like an industrious little thing, and they were going around, oiling their weapons and that. Cue Craig.
I'm being very good.
No.
He's trying to
No? What do you want?
I was giggling to myself at Bob waving his hand like a little.
No, I was just gonna say about because Weiler or whatever in the Hartnell one, Susan stays with him, doesn't she? Obviously, it might be a bit dangerous doing it in this film, like because she's fucking 12.
in this film would be like paedophilia galore, wouldn't it? Even those days.
Yeah.
She
Because
doesn't stay with Wiley, she stays with David.
Yeah.
They sort of change some of the characters around because of
Well,
Peter
whatever.
Cushing's illness.
Well, you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I like the fact that Susan leaves a grandfather a message on the door. Both David and the doctor, they'll see that message, but still come to the same conclusion as to where they've got to go, right? Which is a nice little touch.
Because they even head to, doesn't it say meet us in Watford and they go to Southampton or something like that? They buy it back to Bedford, that's it. Oh, have you seen Bridget Jones when she talks about Bedfordshire? Up to Bedfordshire, good night. I love that scene. Sorry, so I'd interject with that.
Never seen it, but never seen it, Craig.
Never seen Bridget Jones.
Never seen Bridget Jones. Why the fuck would I?
Because I'm going to review it at some point.
It was also in Ghostlight, Craig, if you remember. Doctor Who Ghostlight. Up the stairs to Bedfordshire. Yeah.
That was first as well. Maybe Bridget Jones nicked it from Doctor Who.
Yeah, bitch.
I like the fact that Wilder plays Skittles, right, with the Daleks and a van, right, which is a nice little scene. Just plows through them all. Right, I like that.
I actually really like when the magnetism starts to affect it, and obviously you can see that the crew are having a great deal of fun chucking these Daleks about, lobbing them down shafts and things. It must have been quite an expensive thing.
Polystyrene
lob it in a shaft.
But did you notice?
Are you fucking 12, boys? Shut up.
Did you notice when all them Daleks were being destroyed, the Palitoy toys that were in there as well? There was a couple of times the shots of some of the Daleks being destroyed were not the life-size Daleks, but the actual small mini toys that were being released during
There was a lot of nice model work in this, and a lot of the nice, the paint glass stuff on the, for wide scenes. There was a lot of really good artwork and modeling on this. It was great.
There's
so it puts everybody off when you make a sensible comment, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tits and that.
Yeah, there we go.
The disposal chute escaped from the spaceship, right? That which seemed very convenient for them. But the only thing that came to my head was that the Daleks now seem to care about recycling or just littering up the countryside when they got a disposal thing. When any rubbish, they just chuck it out.
Well, they got poop, and the Robomen are going to eat all the sweeties. So,
all the sweeties.
You've got to think about it in terms of like the plot here, because if they're going to basically make the Earth a spacefaring vessel, you're going to go. You're not taking the sun with you, so the outside will turn into an icy mess anyway. So why bother about some littering? Why bother?
No, why bother? Yeah, I don't care really. Philip Maddock returns, or is the start of his Doctor Who career, I think, right? Because this is his first role within Doctor Who. Now, if Philip Maddock played Broccoli,
the evil dude was the end, the double agent kind of guy.
I'll tell you what I'm missing.
In the
TV program, which is it the Slither or the Slither, that monster that lives in the woods?
Yeah.
And I really think it would have been a great element to have had in here, actually, because it is quite scary, and they could easily just added it in.
Not when they were already going over budget already, and with the fact they were 11 days behind on their shoot. I think some elements of the story had to be gotten rid of, and especially I think the Slither was more. The scenes were probably more with Peter Cushing's Doctor again when he was ill on location. They ain't going to put that Slither in.
And also, I suppose it only came out at night, didn't it? And I don't think they were there particularly for a long period of time, is what I got from this. Whereas in the series, they're there for longer, so it wouldn't have had the same impact thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it's day shoots as well, not night shoots and no night shoots.
Those two women in the cottage as well.
Bitches.
Yeah.
They are really spooky, those two women. Yeah, they are. That's what it reminds me. And when they're kind of looking, they're so unsubtle, aren't they? Getting the carrots,
and eating the massive carrots and that.
Yeah.
Fucking massive raw carrot and a cabbage. That's what you're going to give people up for, you fucking bastards.
Well, it shows how tough a Dalek regime is that you're going to give a life.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. You'll do out for a fucking carrot, half a carrot each, massive carrot though, obviously.
You should see what's the second carrot off the screen.
those two women, right? Sheila Steeple, the younger woman, she went on to have a really good stellar career, and Eileen Way, the older woman, is Old Mother from The Unearthly Child, the very first Doctor Who story.
I know, because I know
Right.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, so she had a good role in this. The fact that the Doctor is considered the rebel leader, right, within only a couple of weeks, a couple of days of him being on Earth, and just him
that
walking
seems
around.
weird.
Right, so I mean, they've killed off Dortmund,
Duh.
and then a bit later on, right, within a day, 2 days, the Doctor's now the rebel leader.
Well, he's pretty much the only one fucking left, isn't he?
Not anything difficult, is it? All he does is twirl him round a lot, and that's all he seems to really do. I know he has the magnetic core on his side, but let's face it, it was going to go wrong anyway, going down on that shaft. It takes one off bite.
The
bearded cribbing shaft.
One direction, yeah.
You know what?
It's not reliable, is it, going down on it?
From a podcast perspective, normally I would edit a lot of this crap out, but this time you're getting everything.
Yeah.
Like, as is, there's no editing from start to finish. By the way,
Everyone's
just leave it in. That way they'll can see what sort of turmoil
shit show. What sort of shit show this is? Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's a winner. What you're saying?
I would always say 56 is a highly professional podcast.
Being Craig's nonsense.
It's a shit show, John.
Craig,
Don't blame
have you
yourself.
noticed, Craig, just there, he's just chucked you under the bus. He just says, it's all Craig's nonsense.
Oh, I'll take the blame. It's always,
No,
always easy to blame the minority.
Me and Craig's nonsense. Don't fucking play the gay card, you sugar puff.
Yeah. Moving back to the film, the Robomen, as they're being killed, did you hear the screams? Like, a couple of them were like they were manly screams. Then all of a sudden, there was a couple that suddenly went really high. They seemed to go like, really high. And I don't know, like they had some women in there just about it.
Thing is, yeah.
I think the only last few thing that I've got is, why is there a second mine shaft at such an acute angle? Why would they have them? They'd all be.
Everyone's different, aren't they?
The same angle, because that'd be really painful. One's got to be slightly different to gain entry, surely.
Yeah. Some people have a L cock. Some people have a straight cock. It depends. You know, you need a couple of shafts. You can't just be one shaft guy.
Do you know what? Mostly, I blame myself for allowing this shit show to continue. To be honest,
Fighting his back.
I couldn't believe it.
To be fair, Suki, you've tried, mate, and I'm with you 100%. But this is like having. I imagine this is like having fucking 2-year-olds running about your house.
I mean,
I don't remember Bob being like this when he was hosting. He would never have allowed this, would he? Now he's like leading us astray left, right, and centre. And I'm easily led. I'm gutless.
last week,
me and you, old school, me and you, Craig, when we just enjoyed ourselves.
Exactly.
The Christmas Day when we recorded, that seemed to go a lot better than this one. But for some reason, they've just been drinking this whole week.
That was exciting.
You know,
It's just we're so wild and unruly that we're just going to carry on from there. Let's face it, it's just one continual party for me.
I basically had something of a mental break about 10 minutes in and decided, fuck it, just let him go. I've had enough. I've had enough.
What point listeners actually stop listening to this, and now the only
I'd be surprised if anybody listens to this, considering the fact that you fuckers all talk over one another all the time.
I've got one more as well.
Hard work.
He's got one more. Suki's got one more. Go on.
One more now. It's on this.
Really?
There was supposed to be a third film. Now, the first film performed really well. This second film, for some reason, just didn't get the bums on the seats and get the money in the coffers. The third film was just quietly shelved.
I actually wondered why it didn't do as well. I've often wondered why, because it was good. I imagine the Dalek Mania was still taking place at this point, and I'd love to have known. I don't know if you know, Suki, what the third film was going to be, and is it one?
Yeah, what was it going to be based on? The Chase.
Chase.
That's going to be quite interesting in this with this budget and colour and all. That could have been a good one. I like the Chase.
I like the Chase, but as a film,
the Chase, John, if you wanted to know, was where the Doctor he's being chased by the Daleks through different time periods.
All right.
Like,
cool.
so
It's
he's
really
been
cool.
landing it
It's
also.
like episodes done. Just request it on Proctor at some point.
Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds like a plan.
It's
Right.
very daft.
So, Craig, have you got any notes that you haven't mentioned yet?
Well, I've got some notes.
Any notes that aren't overtly sexual in nature?
I don't know if I mentioned the Dalek.
You had to think about it.
You did.
I don't know if I mentioned the Dalek that whizzes through the wall. It's like, I was really curious about this. When it goes through the spaceship wall, it's just a black void. So, what would that actually be on the spaceship? Because surely everything is precious, all the locations. So, just to go through like a gap and the wall collapse, it doesn't make sense to me.
They should have put a background, a little corridor-like thing background in them. But for some reason, they decide to cover up the studio back wall there. That's why it went in there, and that's the studio back wall. That is.
It's like Johnson
It is.
crumpled so easily. Then, no, I think I'm kind of the robotization process. The rescue to save the Doctor. Why have they not done that before? They come in, they storm the ship just to get the Doctor out. Why have they not done this for anyone else? It's a man they barely know from two women. Louise. It all just seems a bit. Why have we
Susan's convinced them that he's the most intelligent man in the room.
Yeah, but all the other people that have been robotized, it's like they don't give a toss about them. All those other fellow humans till this point.
Well, that robotization process, that was clearly just like the hairdressers, wasn't it? It
I
was
don't
like,
even know about why I'm not
He's got all that fucking.
even the curtains like hairdressers. It was.
you can just imagine that they're in there and like reading Home and Garden as they're doing it, like,
I mean, just
and chat.
it was like
I think my nan used to read Cocoa Pops.
that and Scat Monthly.
Shit him
Another
round.
shit joke. Right. So I think, unless anybody's got any additional notes.
I might have it, John.
All right. then.
Why
God
have you-
damn it.
Oh my
Honestly.
God.
I just my notes.
You can't even see
No.
them.
I actually read what I've written. I've
Really?
got 4 pages of notes. I genuinely have in my little River Song diary.
Have you got the same glasses as me again tonight, Craig?
Yes,
Right here.
yeah.
I've got a load of them.
I've got vodka
Right.
lemonade.
I mean, I'd love to let this like string of meaningless imbecility continue, but I think we maybe should think about bringing this to a halt. Now,
All right.
God, what a
the first thing I have to do is apologise for the behaviour of fucking everybody, and then I think we should just no, Suki, you're insane. I should have thought that you're insane.
Me, Craig.
What have I done wrong?
I don't know.
If you don't know what you've done wrong,
Naughty corner,
Hey,
Craig.
really good contributions, and you're just dissing me now. Outrageous.
You shaft.
well, I think it's probably justified.
I feel shafted.
Oh my God.
Sorry, John.
No, don't apologise for your imbecility. It's all fine. Right, so Suki,
Yes, mate.
I think we need to try and shut this fucking thing down before it breaks me. So, are you happy? Have you got anything else you need to say or add?
I am happy to get this shit show over and done with.
That's how bad it is.
I'm really sorry.
We are quitting. We're not doing this again.
Take it from John, but I can't see
I think
Suki.
we're dying to have us back and we're quitting. We're never doing this again.
There's well, we'll do it next Christmas when the next Doctor Who film that we haven't done is on. So, thank you, boys, for your insightful comments, your calm and ease with which you delivered your clear and concise thoughts. It was appreciated. So, thank you, boys.
I'm glad I made some good contributions. Thanks for having us on again. I really loved it. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, it's never happened again. Never fucking happened.
Really? Oh, come on, John. Come on.
No.
I think we're allowed on our own, but not together, Craig. I think that's what John's saying.
No, neither of you. Fuck you.
Oh, he'll be trying to come back on again. He loves it. He loves it.
Right. All right. So just to bring this to a halt, because God damn it. So that's been our pod. Happy New Year, you bastards. And from Suki, Bob, Craig, and myself, it's goodbye.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Bye.
2021.
It's going to be worse than 2020.